Good day, viewers. Welcome once again to our class, our lessons in commerce. The last topic we did was to introduce you to commerce and its scope. We were able to explain the scope of commerce, which involved aids and trade and aids to trade, as well as the divisions of trade into home and foreign, and the home into retail and wholesale, then foreign into export, import, and entreport, as well as the aids to trade, which involve all the different trade support that is involved in commerce, which, for example, how we have transport, tourism, warehousing, insurance, and so on. So today we're looking at another topic, which is e-commerce and barter system. E-commerce and barter system, just an extension of the previous topic. So we're going to look at the barter system in a little extension. So please don't forget to have your writing material with you. You're supposed to be able to put something down as you listen. So please ensure you're writing down important information you can hear me release as I go through this lesson with you. Thank you. So today we are going to be explaining or describing e-commerce. Then we're going to look at the factors that affect the growth of commerce, as well as explain the barter system, so some extra additional information on that. So let's go. Thank you. So what is e-commerce? Simply put, it's called electronic commerce. Electronic commerce. Commerce done through electronic gadgets that have access to the internet connectivity. So it refers to the buying, selling, and exchange of goods and services through the electronic media such as the internet, the email, the phone calls, and other computer-aided communication gadgets. All right, other computer-aided communication gadgets. So this will help you to contact business partners, business associates, reach a conclusion with them on one business idea or the other, and then it is sealed and concluded. So this is what we mean by internet or electronic commerce. You don't need to be physically present, all right, to discuss ideas and discuss businesses and transact business. Once it is done through an electronic means, it's called what? E-commerce. So you can see in this picture, you have a lady who is sitting in front of his desktop screen and is going through whatever she feels she needs. And once she sees anyone, she'll save it in what we call a cart. You can see it there in the picture, looking like a trolley, but that's a cart. You put everything inside what you want to buy, and at the end you make payment to the seller using any of those devices you see there. That's ATM card, MasterCard, and Visa. Anyone can be used. So, but this is exactly what happens when you talk about the electronic commerce or e-commerce. You have these things that helps you to ensure that you buy and sell. So you buy, you're withdrawing from the market through your cards, and you pay through your bank. So the internet has changed the business world. So you can see actually this looks like the system you're looking at. So you check what you want, save it up, and it is total, and you get your payment alert or payment prompt, and then you have the total, and you begin to make some data analysis that will help you to pay. So that's what the internet or e-commerce is helping us to achieve. So commercial transactions carried out electronically on the internet is called e-commerce. How does the e-commerce function, or what is its advantages? The e-commerce has the following functions or advantages it gives to participants or traders and consumers in general. It fosters, it helps to increase the speed of buying and selling. That is, it makes buying and selling faster. All right, you don't have to be there in person, because if you check some things you want to buy, it's a distance from where you live. Right? If you check the time you're going to spend going to that place to check if they have it, if what you're looking for is there, Sometimes you're disappointed, and if it's there, you can buy and then stretch yourself back and going back home. That whole time could have been saved and used for something more profitable and more productive by just opening your gadgets and flipping through the seller's page, seeing what you want, making an order for it and paying for it, and they will deliver it to your doorstep. Now, what means is that you have to be patient. Sometimes they come very fast. Sometimes you have to take some days, possibly some hours, depending on what you're buying through the internet. So, of course, but it makes you to buy and sell faster, all right? Number two is that buying and selling is done 24 hours of the day and 7 days of the week. It doesn't have an ending, doesn't have a closing time and an opening time. At any time of the day, you can make purchase, you can make sales. This is what e-commerce has come to do. But you know, in a physical shop or place of business, you have the hours you open the shop and then the hours you have to close for safety reasons or for regulatory reasons. So these are the things that makes e-commerce different. So it's open for activities 24 hours of the day and 7 hours of the week. 7 days of the week. So yes, that's exactly what commerce can do. Then it has low operational costs. Low operational cost is an advantage, also a function, and better quality of services. You see, as much as e-commerce is concerned, it makes sure there's less hitches, right, and better fulfillment of your expectation. So it has low operating costs and better quality service. As a customer, you enjoy going to those sites often and on, and sometimes you even go to feed your eyes, and so it gives you pleasure. So right, it has better quality services for its consumers. Then no need of physical company setups. A lot of places online are actually rented. So some will have the big space where others will come under an umbrella and get a space to sell what they have to sell. So you don't need to go erect a physical structure for you to sell what you have to sell or produce. Of course, they'll be produced by other manufacturers, and if commerce is to distribute it. You see, that's what we call it e-commerce. From the point of purchase from the manufacturer to the point of usage to the consumer, commerce is involved, right? Commerce is what is involved. So there's no need to go and erect physical structure if you need to do e-commerce. You just rent a space in places like Jumia or Konga and the rest of them, eBay, and sell your product through them. They are a marketplace in the internet. So then the last one here on this slide says it's easy to start and manage a business. You can start e-commerce as easy as it can be. Just have a product you want to sell, then pay for a space. Of course, you can actually sell yourself. If you don't have to pay for it, you can do it yourself. But how popular is your site? How popular is your link? So if you're not popular, you can go through the links that are popular so that you can sell faster and make quicker returns of your money. So yes, you can actually rent a space in either Jumia, Konga, or Temu, or whatever, those e-commerce sites that are huge as a marketplace. Or you can actually grow your own still, but it's all on the internet. So that's what happens. So it's easy to start and manage as a business. Disadvantages of e-commerce. As much as you have advantages, there are disadvantages too, because, and I can always say, there's no one-way traffic in life. So you win some, you lose some, all right? You gain some, you lose some as well. So number one of the disadvantages of e-commerce is that there's no guarantee of product quality. Yes, the service is based on the accessibility of the site. Some sellers may present to you pictures that are very nice, looks like the best of quality you can imagine, but of course, when it delivered to you, you may not be happy because it's a case of what I ordered for and what I got, all right? So some of them are like that. Not all products have the quality that is being advertised on the internet, as you can see in that e-commerce page you're looking at. It requires users' computer literacy. If you don't know how to solve the internet and its requirements, you may not be able to partake in e-commerce, right? So not everybody can actually use the internet to buy items. I bought a lot of things on the internet, my shoes, my water dispenser, my washing machine, some of my clothes. Yes, so I also enjoy the e-commerce services. So yes, it requires internet connectivity. Yes, of course, without an internet access on your device, you cannot partake in the e-commerce transactions. So it requires you to be connected to the internet services for you to be able to access e-commerce services, all right? So without an internet connectivity, you cannot go that far. You can just be limited to your gadgets and not enter the market space in e-commerce. It has more intensive competition because you're reaching out to the world, not just your locality. The internet or e-commerce is the eyes of the world are there, of the world is there. So if you are going to the internet for transactions, be sure that you're going to have other people who are coming there for the same good you want to sell. So you have intense competition facing you. So it depends on what quality you have to offer, your prices, and how you advertise. That will make you have more patronage or not. So there are many hackers on the internet. These people who are programmers in the internet space can drop programs up that way, hack your system, and whenever payment is made, you don't get to pay. You'll be paid, but your goods will be delivered, and your page will be marked as a scam page. So it is always good to also what? Be prepared for all this because it's a disadvantage in e-commerce. So if your page or is hacked or your customers are hacked and they are defrauded, it being your name. So these are the disadvantages of internet or e-commerce because it brings bad reputation when people are swindled of their money through your link. It will be that you're the one who does that or who did that, even though you may not be the one. So it's a disadvantage whereby hackers can interrupt your link and make people lose their values through you. Of course, you can also be scammed as a trader. So yes, it's a place that is very vulnerable for hackers to actually harm participants or yes, buyers and sellers. E-commerce also functions as a power supply. It's a disadvantage when you don't have power supply, regular power supply, because your gadget runs on batteries and other source of energy. Whenever this source of energy or power supply has cut off or is short in supply, you have problems using the internet for e-commerce, especially those places that have like a marketplace like Jumia. So they have to be online 24 hours. If there's anything more than 24 hours, they could be online. They should be online as much as that. So to ensure that anytime a customer comes to that site, they can actually have access and transact business. So if there's irregular power supply, such an e-commerce site will be down. All right, they will not be up and running. So it also impedes transactions desires by consumers. So a delay in delivery. There's a delay in delivery. So like I said from the beginning, you may have ordered something that you want. Of course, it may not come immediately you want it. It will take some hours, maybe days, or maybe a week or weeks. So depending on what you're buying and your seller's provisions for delivery. So yes, that's what this one's also what disadvantage. But if you see, this delay can cause a lot of issues because imagine you're buying things for a particular occasion, right? That it's in 1 week ahead, and you're told that your goods will be delivered in 3-4 days, okay? And you just supposed to, yes, I think it's time enough for me to just buy, and then I'll have it delivered before the time comes. And eventually, other things happen you cannot control, and your goods are not delivered until after the event has taken place and gone. So yes, it's advantage because of delay in delivery of what you have ordered comfortably in your comfort zone and waiting for it, but it didn't come until you lost out on the effective efficiency or effectiveness of that product you have demanded or purchased for. These are the most common disadvantages that are associated with e-commerce. So just to bring you up to date, so I hope you understand now that e-commerce is sweet, but also there are also pitfalls of e-commerce activities. Now, these are the factors that can affect the growth of commerce in Nigeria, the positive factors here. When these factors are available, commerce grow in Nigeria or across the globe. in general. So number one, it says development of modern technique of production. Yes, because you get feedbacks from consumers of the products and general public in the marketplace, which will help you to modernize what you're doing, to add value to what you're doing, to improve your productive methods, to help you reduce costs. These ideas can help improve what techniques you use to produce what you produce. Of course, to help you also what? Enlarge outputs and reduce cost of production per unit. Okay. Then also, this factor also is involved in improving commerce, such as development and improvement of insurance services. Insurance services are also part of the aids to trade that helps trade to grow, and that means commerce also will expand. Insurance provides support, provides cover for losses that can be suffered or encountered in transaction of business. So when this is in place, it actually brings boldness in the minds of the trader that, of course, whatever happens, I'll still be in business. So they go ahead because even though there are impending risks that you know, all right, that you're going to pass through, but with the help of insurance, you feel less concerned or you feel less threatened, okay, to go into such a business because you have the right insurance policy that can serve your need in that business. So when insurance is developed and improved upon, people seem to want to take up more business ventures because they can be protected from losses or risk in such a business through insurance. Then you have development of financial institutions as one of those factors that can help commerce to grow. Finances can be described or referred to as the oil that oils the wheel of business progress. Okay, if there are no money in business, business will not transact. There will not be transactions. Business will not flow. But with money, you can have business activities taking place, right? So these monies are made available through what? The financial institutions, such as the commercial banks and other special banks that have been established for various reasons to aid transactions across the world, especially in Nigeria. So financial institutions being developed will actually make financial services available to various business activities and men and companies as well as the government. So this will also help them to transact business in their own line of interest. This in itself will help commerce to grow in Nigeria or increase the growth of the Nigerian economy. So yes, advertisement is one of those factors that can also improve or grow commerce in Nigeria. As usually with advertisement, you can become aware of products that are not in your locality, maybe many miles away, many kilometers away, that you can hear over the radio, TV, and other means of the advertisement, all right, maybe images here and there, all right, could bring to your knowledge the awareness or availability of some products that you don't know about before. So advertising does that. And as this is made known to consumers, as the interest grows, all right, they start demanding for this product, such a company will start experiencing world growth as well. So in that case, commerce expands as well. So advertisement is oil, another oil in commerce, the wheel of commerce in growth in Nigeria. So when they advertise, it increases sales, it creates awareness, it improves profits, and so on. So it also helps commerce world to grow in the country. Then you have development of warehouses or warehouse. So this, like I said earlier in the previous video, provides a place where goods are kept, finished goods, semi-finished goods, and raw materials, and other equipment until they become useful or they are needed or demanded for. So warehouses can be seen as a very important factor in the growth of commerce in a country. Without it, commerce will not be so smooth. It will suffer what we call epileptic growth. Okay, yes, commerce will be so slow, so uninteresting, so difficult, and very expensive without warehouse. And prices as well will actually become higher because some goods are produced in mass and stored for future demand. That also ensures steady supply and stable price of such products. So with warehousing, you can enjoy more ease in trade. Okay, so that also in itself makes commerce to grow in Nigeria. So development of means of transportation as well is another one. With the construction of good roads and network in the system, it helps people, even the farmers, to have access through to their farmlands, right? Then access through to different industrial estates, access through to different places of production, even those who have their factories, sited in the very remote area, maybe in the bush or forest because of what they produce. If they have access road or transport means, that will make them very happy and business can become very, 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 very profitable and meaningful. So these factors are things that are needed to help commerce to grow in a country. If they are properly handled, it will increase the growth of what commerce in Nigeria and the world at large. Then it creates an environment of tourism. Okay, so the factor that's also contribute to the growth of commerce can be called tourism. One of them is called tourism. So tourism, as I explained, is activities that involved pleasurable movement from one person to place to another, from one place to another, for people who move about to enjoy some comfort provided under different environments for their different reasons. So when tourism is created and made improvements on, it brings more satisfaction, more improvement in the utility for the consumers. And in this case, it also helps commerce to expand because some people travel for business reasons and they find a place that is a tourist site to go wind down and take away stress and feel refreshed before they continue. And this in itself brings well-being in extension. So yes, by so doing, people can actually do business even the more. So that helps us to grow commerce in a country, especially Nigeria. Then other factors that brings negative effects to growth in commerce. Now, insufficient capital, poverty, and low savings are catalysts of negativity in commercial activities. Because if you don't have enough capital, business will be retarded. Poverty is also part of it. If you don't have money, you can't do any business. All right, you can't even buy anything. That means there will be low patronage and demand will be falling. And then low savings also reduced amount of demand in a country or in an economy. So yes, these are the things that can impede the growth of commerce in a nation or in an economy. Poor transportation and communication system. Of course, where they are not available or improved upon, there will be obstructions, or there will be kind of a delay or inconvenience in transaction in business. All right. So, but if these systems are provided, it will be a good advantage. But since they are not there, if you have a poor transport system and communication system, there will be drop or negative growth in transportation and in commerce. Yes, these are the things that you take note of. Then we shall have low level of education and illiteracy as a factor as well. These things can also reduce how much volume of commercial activities that take place. People who are not well informed or well aware of what is needed and how things should be done, and they do it anyhow, and people don't feel satisfied and they begin to lose interest in the trade in question. That also is a problem that can impede commerce or reduce commerce negatively, right? So that is exactly another factor that can cause a retardation in growth of commercial activities in Nigeria or the world at large. So have absence of well-developed markets. Yes, there are markets, but some of them are very still primitive and unknown. But if you have a well-developed market, let me put it this way, such as Jumia, all right? Of course, it's not a marketplace, all right, but it's a market there. If it's a well-developed and organized market, it will help smoothen and aid faster transaction of goods and services there. So a well-developed market can improve transaction, but where the absence is the case, then you have problems in the growth of commerce or commercial activities in a nation. They have political instability as well as one issue that can reduce commercial activities. Of course, when a nation is in crisis or unstable in terms of policies and government decisions changing every now and then, investors or producers will have difficulties in trying to project or forecast what the future can become, and that will really reduce business transaction in such an economy. So Unstable politics is a factor that can also negatively affect the growth of commerce or commercial activities in a nation. Predominance of primary products. Yes, of course, a country cannot grow or industrialize the much that is required if it is still primarily engaging in extractive activities. All right. So, if a country's products are always and only primary products, they will not actually enjoy commerce the much they should, because commerce is more profitable when you're dealing with services, more services, and also finished goods aspect of transaction. So with a community or country that has primary products as their main source of income, there will not be adequate growth of commerce in that kind of economy, because they are limited by only primary products. So this is another problem. It will affect growth of commerce negatively, because you're limited to only the exportation of primary products. When they go over there to be sell it to, and they refine or process, and it's only back to you, all right, it may end up taking more than what you gain from from selling primary products to the developer or to the manufacturer. So that's a negative effect of growth in commerce. Countries should try and actually process what they produce primarily and export finished goods, semi-finished goods, or even services, so that they can actually enjoy transactions globally. We take it a little notch further. Now we're moving into the other aspect of our topic today, which is called the barter system. Okay, the barter system is another way of trading that doesn't involve the use of money. Okay, there's the ancient practice in the ancient time through which people can actually trade with one another. So trade by barter is seen as a system of practice of exchange of goods and services, system and practice of exchange of goods and services for services, or goods for goods, or goods for services and service for goods. So whichever one you look at it, it can be subdivided into this pattern. You can exchange goods for goods, service for service, goods for service, or service for goods. As far as there's something that you need that I have, and I need that you have, we can actually transact. I can offer you services and take your goods, or offer you goods and enjoy your services. So other way, it can be goods for goods or service for service, and as well the other way around. So barter system does not use money for transaction, because as at that time there was no money in place. You can't even value what you sell or what you exchange, as the case may be. So that's what barter system is. See the picture? Yeah. Here is a form of exchange of goods for goods. All right. You see, this is rice to exchange with tomato, apple to exchange with meat. All right. So these are the things that makes barter its nature, that gives it its nature. As you can see, this is another word. Here says we only barter. We only exchange items without involving money. So you give us what you have and collect what you need, as much as we need what you have. So that's exactly what it means. So, wow, I love this picture. They are all carrying their products for what? For exchange. Forget about the picture you see on the background. That one is not counting yet, because we're talking about barter. Here, they trade only on what? On barter. You see, exchange of meat for fruits. That's exactly what barter is. All right? Give us what we want that you have, and take what we have that you need. Okay? Now, the brief history of the barter system. Now, the barter system is one of the oldest economic practices known in humanity, originating thousands of years ago. And then in the early civilization period, the practice of bartering dates back in the 16 or 6000 BCE, with evidences of its use by Mesopotamian tribes. The Phoenicians further developed bartering by trading goods with people in other cities across the seas. So after the early civilization, we have the ancient economies, and this period Throughout history, many ancient civilizations, including the Egyptians, Babylonians, and Greeks, relied on the barter system for trade, that is, to meet their needs. All right, so if not, they cannot, there was no money at that time to use to buy and sell. So they relied on the barter system to get what they need and also let go what they don't need at the moment. So such goods they traded were such as grains, livestock, and tools were commonly exchanged. So because in those era or periods or area, they were mostly farmers as well. So they want to farm, some farm mechanical, also mechanized farming. So they need these things to actually farm in large amounts and also sell. Then the medieval Europe was also another era in history during which during the Middle Age, Europeans traveled long distances to trade goods with other regions. Bartering was particularly vital in terms of currency scarcity. Of course, they believe that this is one of the best ways to do their business without having to carry maybe money along because of the risk of being robbed and you losing your value. We also have the colonial American period in the bartering history. In early American colonial times, bartering was also a common practice due to what? The shortage of currency. Colonists often traded items like tobacco, wheat, and livestock in this period of time. Then the modern bartering system also involved largely by monetary system. They have also replaced monetary system, of course. Although this time that we have money and different kind of currency as well to use for trade, the bartering system still exists. It still what exists. Even though we have different kind of currencies around, bartering system persists in some regions and contexts. Local exchange trading system and barter network have modernized the practice, often facilitated by technology and online platform. You see, today we actually still practice it. In fact, if you go to the rural areas, sometimes even in the cities, there's a way you barter, all right, without using money to exchange what you have. It's still there. You can have an you may be a testimonial of that. Of course, yeah, you have once in a while giving somebody what you have and get what the person have as well because you need and the person needs what you have. So there's an exchange without involving money. If you do that, if you've ever done that, you are actually what practice barter system of trading. Okay? Yes. So modern times involve monetary use, but of course, there still exists what? There still exists bartering system in regions and in some context in the cities, right? Now, the bartering system encountered some problems and also made it difficult for trade to go smoothly. And so this we can explain in some details. Number one of the problems included double coincidence of wants. What does it mean? It means that if you want to trade, you must have what I am looking for, and I must have what you need for us to do an exchange, without which there will not be any form of transaction happening between us. So that period of looking for who has what I want and who needs what I have is what we call the double coincidence of wants. Without that in place, no trade will take place. The problem of exchange rate determination, that is, how much value do I let go to get what you're giving me? All right? How much value of what I have do I let go to get what you have in offer to me? So this is a problem. It can't be determined, all right, because some of the goods are not divisible, all right? They can't even be valued. Who tells you what the value should be? So that time, you just give out what you have, whether it is of high value or low value, you just give it away and get what you need. So there was a problem of what? Exchange rate determination. That became a problem that began to weigh down the practice of barter system. Then you have problem of time and effort wasting. Yes, it takes time to find who has what you want and who needs what you have as well. So this is also a problem. So that time and effort wasted, it can stay days and possibly weeks without seeing who you will trade with. So that's a problem. It wastes time. It also dissipates your efforts in trying to satisfy your needs. So yes, a problem as well. Then you have problem of bulkiness of some goods. Some goods to be exchanged cannot be moved about. They are not portable. So that also became an issue that's actually weighed down the barter practice. So yes, because of all these reasons, they have to look for other means of exchange that can make it much better. Of course, so it discourages borrowing and lending. Nobody wants to give you his or her goods service now for you to pay them much later. No. What if you don't pay? Right? What if you don't pay? That becomes what? Fraud, of course. It becomes a fraud in the transaction process. So nobody wants to do that. So it limits borrowing and lending. It limits what? Borrowing and lending. So it also discourages deferred payment. Having to buy now and paying later is what we call deferred payment. So in barter system, there's nothing like that. Okay? It does nothing like that. So you have to exchange instantly and get what you need, right? And then give that person what they also need from you. Problem of indivisibility. I already mentioned that some goods cannot be broken down into smaller units before exchange can happen. So you just give it out as a whole, and get the piece you need so that you can get yourself exactly what you're looking for. So these are the problems that actually bedeviled the barter system, or the trade by barter system, which led to the issue of introduction of money. So thank you. I'm sure by this point you have had a good dose of the knowledge of barter system or barter trade. I'm sure that you must have taken down notes, and please do not just stop there. Ensure that you visit our ExamGuide app for further studies and revision, because we find questions that will help you improve on what you've learned and permanent what knowledge you have gained from here, and it will improve your understanding. So thank you. See you in the next class. God bless you.